Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Star Wars Batman Show. My name is Mike, and today we'll be talking about Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Now, this is the first movie in this series of Star Wars anthology films that are more like side pieces to accompany the main Star Wars storyline. This one it takes place right before A New Hope and follows Jyn Erso in her attempts to steal the Death Star plans. Now, going into this movie, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect because Force Awakens was really good, but the marketing for this movie wasn't that great, so I was like, I don't know, this could turn out bad. And walking out of it, I'm like, this is all right. The first hour or so of this movie was pretty choppy, and had a lot of new characters being introduced with not much development, but I'll get to it later. And then once the movie really starts getting going, once we go to the one of the Imperial research stations where Jyn Erso's father works, that's really where it gets going. And then because we have like I think it was like a bombing scene where like a bunch of X-wings come out and blow up this research base because the rebels want to basically kill Jin's father because he's the main designer of the Death Star. And so then from there on, we get a really cool space battle. And then without saying too much, that's basically the end of the movie. But that's really where the movie uh, gets going because the rest of it is pretty slow and choppy at best. Like I said, the character development wasn't too good. We had Jyn Erso, played by Felicity Jones, and she's probably the best character in this movie, but she's very similar to Rey from The Force Awakens, where she's like this girl who doesn't have her parents, so she grows up to be this important figure in the rebels, or in Rey's case, the Republic. But anyway, then we have Cassian Andor, and I actually had to look up this guy's name because I could not remember him for anything. There's literally nothing about him that I can remember, other than the fact that he wanted to kill Jin's father under orders to kind of highlight one of the film's themes of not everyone's squeaky clean in a war, and sometimes you have to do stuff that is morally ambiguous. But that's the only thing I remember about him. We also have K2SO, the Imperial droid that was reprogrammed by Cassian Andor. He was a lot of fun. He was witty, sarcastic, kind of poked fun at Jyn in a bunch of scenes. So he was a lot of fun. Um, then we have a blind spiritual warrior. I can't remember his name. Um, but he his his most memorable line was "I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me," and that's like the most memorable line from this movie because he says it over and over and over. But it makes sense with his character because he's a blind guy and he doesn't have too much to depend on because he can't see, so he relies on the Force, and it kind of works, and it adds something to the lore of the Force. His name was Tourette Emlet. So he did add something to the lore of the Star Wars universe. So he wasn't too bad. He's accompanied by Baze Maldis, I believe. He's more or less a throwaway character. I literally don't remember anything about him, other than kind of like a cool scene before he dies. Spoilers, by the way. Um, as for the Imperial side, we have I think it was Director Krennic, and he's the pretty much the over the top Imperial imperial leader who's like, I want those plans, or I want the rebels destroyed, or whatever. And he has a bunch of political aspirations. He kind of has a cool scene with Darth Vader where he basically is like, I want to talk to the Emperor. I want control over this weapon. And Vader's like, no, don't choke on your aspirations. So he was pretty over the top and a little bit of fun, but, you know, not too much there. So anyway, moving on to the visual effects of the movie. The movie looked really, really good, especially the space battle at the end of the movie. It's fantastic. It looked really good, and it looked a lot like the costumes and everything like that looked like it was taken right out from A New Hope. So I thought that was really cool. The only problem I have with the visual effects, and I think a lot of people are saying this too, it's the scenes with Grand Moff Tarkin, and even to a degree Princess Leia. Now, for those who don't know, and if you don't know, where the hell have you been? Peter Cushing, the actor who portrayed Grand Moff Tarkin, died. I think it was in like 2002 or 3 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. But he's a dead actor, so he can't reprise his role. So they computer generated his face for the movie. Now, it doesn't always look good. Like it looks. There was one scene in particular. I'm like, oh my God, what are they doing? It looked so terrible. But in some other scenes, it looked convincing. It looked exactly like Peter Cushing. But other scenes was just so trash. It looked like it was like from a video game or something. And then with Princess Leia, she was only on screen for like 10 seconds. But I'm like, not that great. I mean, it didn't look as bad as Grand Moff Tarkin, but it was like you could definitely tell it was CGI. It was like there's no way this is like a photo of Princess Leia or whatever. But anyway, that's all there is for that. I guess to kind of, I guess I could talk about the music, but there's not that much to talk about. The score wasn't too memorable. It used some of John Williams' music from like the original trilogy, but other than that, the music selection wasn't too memorable. I did like the mood that it portrayed though, because this was a very like gritty, warlike movie, and the music definitely accompanied that, but nothing that I'll be humming along to anytime soon. That's pretty much all I have to say. To cap it all off, this is a decent movie. I don't know if I'd watch it again because the first hour is something to get through because it's pretty choppy and whatnot. But the rest of the movie is like once you reach the halfway mark, it does start to get going. If I were to give this movie a rating, 1 out of 10, 1 to 10, probably give it like a 7.5. It wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen, but it definitely could have been better. But it did have a few awesome scenes, so I gotta give credit where credit's due. All right, this will be all I have to say today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more videos from me, be sure to subscribe below. Make sure to like this video up and share it with your friends, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.